It's again a very important lesson, the weather and climate. So that is about our environment and how the things change around us, and how the different properties related to different uh, conditions change around us is basically weather and climate, right? So which is short time and which is long time? Yeah. Which is short time and which is
Weather
long
is short time, climate is long time.
So why you are telling that? So give me example. Okay, give me example. Yes. Give me some examples. Yes, example weather condition and example climate condition. Yes, weather is short time. I agree. I agree that the weather is refers to the short time changes. And if it is like long time, so related to long time, we call that climate. So give me some examples. Climate, cool, weather, rain. Okay, so rainy weather. So I think if you know this website, there's a website called AccuWeather. Then you can see the weather. So AccuWeather site is basically showing weather related to a region. Right here, actually, currently I'm closer to this Malaysia and this. So you can see the region is different region. Therefore, it shows the weather related to that AccuWeather. Let's say Colombo, Western Province, and you can just check the daily predictions about the weather. It says fair weather, and also showing the quality of the environment. And tonight there will be couple of showers, but tomorrow the forecast is yes, some showers and thunderstorm even. Oh, right. Likewise, it's showing these are weather, and the weather condition is basically a temporary condition. So now what is happening now, what is happening today, maybe tomorrow, is weather. But climate is like weather over a specific region over long period of time. So it is like about the atmosphere, about the environment, and how weather lasts during that period. Example, winter, autumn, summer. So that is basically for a long period. What will like cool? This is cool period. This period is basically the temperature is very low, because this is you can solve, this is Christmas season. Because of that, the temperature is very low. Likewise, time to time. So in the April, you can call, yeah, with this season normally this is New Year season. In this season, it is normally hot. That is climate. The usual what is happening in during that period, weather over long time. Right? Okay. Here they have given some example. Showers will occur in the western and eastern province. Thunder showers will occur in the western, southern, and southern province during the evening. This is weather report. So this is by the meteorological department, and so they are requesting people to take necessary steps to prevent damages caused by the lightning and thunder. So weather forecast is typically it's added to the news. The weather forecast typically it's added to the news because it is temporary. You can tell in daily news, right? But the climate we are not telling that. So normally, but if it is like for a long time it's happening, sometimes it can become a news, but it's not a forecast basically. So can be, but normally it's a news. They're telling right these days no rains in maybe another area. Therefore, most of the reservoirs, the levels of the reservoirs have gone down. So we will have to cut down the electricity due to this. Likewise, that is due to the climate situation. Okay, here you can see these are some measurements. So rainfall in millimeter. So rainfall in millimeter. So what is the rainfall? And the average temperature. Humidity, temperature can be like there's a lower temperature and the upper temperature. The in between that, the average. Right, that is the between temperature. You have to add the like the range of temperatures and divide by the number, then get the average. Humidity, humidity is amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. That is humidity, right? And rainfall, you know, that is precipitation. So mainly we calculate as in terms of rain, but hail and the snow, wind, we are not measuring that, but typically we are measuring rain. Okay, you are given some questions. So let's answer these questions by referring to the table. So let me reduce the size of this. Okay, just refer to the table. And there are a few questions. What is the unit used to measure the rainfall? Just what is it? What is the unit used to measure? Sorry?
Millimeter.
Millimeter, yes, exactly. In the next question, what is the unit used to measure the temperature?
Celsius.
Celsius. So what are the other measurements units that can be used? That is not the answer question here, but what are the other measurement units that you can measure the temperature other than Celsius? Yes.
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit. Anything else? Only Fahrenheit. Celsius, correct. Fahrenheit, correct. Another thing is there. Starting from K.
Kelvin.
Kelvin. Yeah. Fahrenheit, Celsius, and Kelvin. Okay. Which city recorded the highest rainfalls in 17/9/2013? The highest rainfall. Which city? Yes. Just read the table and tell. It's very easy. Sorry. Hambantota. So they're asking about the rainfall. Which city recorded the highest rainfall? Is it Hambantota? Hambantota 0.6. Asking about 17th. See the date. Check the date. It is 17. Hambantota, that is correct for the 18th, but the 17th is Anuradhapura, right? Be conscious. Which highest temperature in the same date? Yes, which city recorded the highest temperature same date?
Batikala.
Yes, Batikala. Batikala. Then, which city recorded the highest difference in the rainfall from 17/9 to the 18/9? Which city?
Hambantota.
Highest difference. Yes, it's rainfall, right? It is. Yeah, it's in Hambantota. I mean, the highest difference rainfall. Which cities record the highest difference in the temperature?
Beticular.
Beticular, 32, and yeah, seems Badul 21. What about Badul? Is it Badul or Batty? Hello, it's Badul, right?
60E.
Hello, don't make noises. Yes, which city is recorded the highest difference in the temperature? I'm asking again.
Padula.
Particular
Beticular.
26 to 32. It's a change in like 4 degrees, 5 and yes, 5 and 8. Fine. Here, Badulla 21 to 30. It is closer to 8, right? So Badulla, yes, Badulla has the highest temperature range. Lowest humidity in 17th. Lowest humidity. 17th lowest humidity is from
Badulla.
Badulla. And what was the humidity in city on 18? In that case,
90.
in 18.
90.
Badulla has gone up. Okay, so the factors that we are considering here are so one is rainfall, the other one is temperature, the other one is yes, temperature, humidity, then rainfall, and speed and the direction of the wind. Speed and direction of the wind. So that is also matters, right? Sulange vege sa disha. Okay, these factors are changing, right? So you know these factors like rainfall, it can change, humidity can change, temperature can change. It's vary from even within a day, it can change very soon. So these are referred as weather because it is at like you can, as I said, it is atmospheric condition that specific period during a short amount of time. But the climate is so basically it's for a long amount of time. Actually, weather for a long weather reports. If you take the weather report, cumulate, and if you consider that for a very long amount of time, right? Here, actually, this report showing the weather report for 30 years. It's a very long time, right? You can see the minimum temperature, the maximum temperature, and also the average rainfall per year showing for a long period. So that is called climate. Right? Climate is basically the weather condition in the area for a long period of time. Right? So here actually long period means it's for like here you can see after studying the weather condition in a certain area, a long period of time, at least 30 years, climate of the area can be decided. Right? So climate is that long, right? Not even the seasons. Not even the seasons, even I say example of seasons. But the thing is that even cannot be taken if you are taking that as a like average temperature during that season, you can take, but at least without measuring that for a number of years, you cannot do that. That means this year winter temperature is not the climate. It should be like something like this for a continuous period of time, the temperature in winter in a certain country, temperature in summer in certain country for a long period of time. If you take the average, yes, you can refer that as the climate. Right? So in the world, we have climate zones. Right? In the world, we have climate zones. I hope you know, you have seen these maps, climate map. So this is after analyzing the temperature, humidity, and these things for a very long amount of time, this map is created. Here, So this is the climate map. After analyzing climate for a very long amount of time, here they have created this. So for Sri Lanka also there's a climate map. If you want to search Sri Lanka climate map, this data is taken for a very long amount of time, and then we have different zones, even dry zone, wet zone, intermediate zone. Likewise, we have zones based on this climate. Here another one, the wet zone, then intermediate zone, and then dry zone, and you have the arid zone also. So how these zones are divided? By analyzing climate for a long period of time. Right. So then again, by analyzing this data, this is actually for a long period of time. Again, data taken for a long period of time during 12 months of the particular year. So what is the month is the higher month with the highest rainfall? Yes, according to this chart. So it is highest rainfall in October.
October.
Yeah. What was the rainfall that period? Closer to? Yes. What is the amount? It's closer to
350 millimeter.
350 millimeter. So what is the month with the lowest rainfall?
February.
February. Right. So here, by using these charts and graphs, you can find this. Right. Then the next thing is, how can we measure? What are the devices that use, and how to create a device which can be used to measure the atmosphere, the temperature, rainfall, humidity, and the speed of the rain and direction of the rain. Sorry, speed of the wind and direction of the wind. Right? How can we create devices to measure that? Right. Temperature is basically important factor we are using a thermometer. So what is inside this thermometer? What can you place inside this thermometer?
Mercury.
Yes, you can put mercury, rasadiya දාන්න පුළුවන්. Some other thing. Other than mercury, is there anything else that we can put?
Alcohol.
Alcohol, yes. It can be mercury or it can be alcohol with some color. Right? Just give me some time. Just a second. Okay. So why this mercury and alcohol can be used to measure the temperature? What is the property of alcohol and mercury? What will happen? And why we can use that for measuring the temperature? What's the reason? Yes. There's a special reason behind that, why we can use mercury, why we can use alcohol. මේවට පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන් අපිට mercury, alcohol වගේ දේවල්. මේ උෂ්ණත්ව මානයට අපි යොදා ගන්නේ ඇයි? Yes. Why we are using that inside this thermometer? Any reason behind that? ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවද මොකක්ද reason එක කියලා? Yes. Do you know the reason behind that? Why we are using mercury or alcohol inside this thermometer? It's very thin layer, very thin pipe. It's a very, very thin pipe. Or very, very thin line. So why we are using? So what's the property? So what will happen when temperature changes? Ushnatthaya venas weddi, temperature එක වෙනස් වෙද්දී, are you listening to me? Is it too late to start? So because today I had a meeting, that's why I just started this later. But so if it is too late, it's okay. Let's discuss, because like we have already done, we have enough time. We can do this next day also. But let's try to finish this part also. This part. Let's try to finish this part. I feel that you are sleepy a little. Let's try to finish this part, because this is the last lesson. We have enough time to finish that. Don't worry. Yes, yes, yes. Come on. මේකත් කරන්න බෑ වගේද? Okay, so there's a property that will basically expand, right? With the have you seen space between, let's go to the Google first, space between rail lines, rail tracks. Have you seen the distance space between the rail tracks? Not this. Here there's a not this. There is a gap. Rail track joints. There's a space between these rail track joints. Here, have you seen this? There's a small gap. Why it is there? Right? Why it is there? This is related to the question that I have asked. ඇයි මෙතන මේ ඉඩක් තියලා තියෙන්නේ පුතේ? මේ කෝච්චි පීලි අතර මෙතන පීලි දෙක මික්ස් මේ එකතු වෙන තැන ඇයි මේ ඉඩක් තියෙන්නේ? Why there's a gap?
Sir, ඒක ප්‍රසාරණය වෙනවා.
That will expand, right, with the heat. නේද? උෂ්ණත්වය වැඩි වෙනකොට ඒක ප්‍රසාරණය වෙනවා. එහෙම උනේ නැත්තම් මාර වැඩේ වෙන්නේ. මෙහෙම ඉඩක් තිබ්බේ නැත්තම් රේල් පීලි මේ ඉඩ නැති හින්දා මෙහෙම නැවෙන්න පුළුවන්. හරි? ඉඩ නැති හින්දා රේල් පීලි මෙන්න මෙහෙම නැවිලා යන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම ඉඩ තිබ්බේ නැත්තම් රත් වෙලා. ඒ හින්දා තමයි මෙතන ඉඩක් තියලා තියෙන්නේ. Because like when these rails are going, when trains are going, and also when in the noon, it get heat and it will expand. ඉතින් ඒ property එකම තියෙනවා රසදිය වලටත්, mercury. Right? How, let's say how mercury thermometer works, or how mercury expand with the heat. Right? What is happening basically when you heat, when you increase the heat, it will expand. Right? That is what happened. Not just mercury, alcohol will do the same. But basically the best one is mercury, right? Mercury එක metal එකක් නේ. එහෙනම් mercury තමයි වැඩි හොඳ. Let me quickly go through the video. Can you see this? Right here, you can see mercury there. Here you can see some mercury. Oh, they are showing that. Both will work in the same way. Anyway, it will expand. When it expands, because this is a very thin line, what will happen? The length of line increases. Length of the line increases here. When you heat this bulb, this will expand. This liquid column, this will expand. When it expands, it will go above, because heating happens here. මෙතන තමයි expand වෙන්නේ. ඊට නැති හින්දා මොකද වෙන්නේ? When the space is not enough, it will go here. because when it is like very high temperature, it will expand very high, but when it is very small temperature, it will expand slowly. But if you drop the temperature, in the other hand, what will happen? That will reverse. The Rushnatve adu වෙනකොට මේක සංකෝචනය වෙනවා. That will not expand. So that will expand when the temperature is high, and it will not expand when the temperature is low. It will shrink. That is what happened. So that is the reason why we are using mercury or alcohol inside this. Yes, that is called the bulb. The bulb is not actually the light bulb. That is the silver end of the thermometer, right? This is not actually bulb. This is not something that light up. But what will happen actually? It will detect the temperature. It will sense the temperature, and according to that, it will expand. Expand means when it is expanding, it will go up. That is what happens, right? That is the nature of the thermometer. Right, now digital thermometers are there. So digital thermometers are like measuring that in another way, using some other measurement unit. Okay, so measuring rainfall, let's discuss it next day, because like you're a bit lazy today. I started later. Don't worry, I'll be discussing that next day, right? So next day I'll be starting on time 7, because today I had another. Yes, if we touch, that will increase. That is true. Why we touch when there's a body temperature? Body temperature is higher than the atmosphere or the environment temperature. That is why it raises. Body temperatures typically, I said that last week or before last week, I said body temperature around 34, right? Human body temperature. But fever is like, when you feel fever, it is more than normal body temperature. Here, fever condition, fever temperature is it is 34 point, this is in Fahrenheit, you can see. Normally it is here. This is the normal temperature is between this, sorry, 30, not 34, 36. So that is lower than the environmental temperature. So this is higher than the normal. Normally we cannot feel 36 in our environment. No? In Colombo or Kandy, normally around that area, but in Hambantota sometimes this can be higher than, but normally around that. Normally is 36 to 37, but if it is more than 37, so that is detected as higher than the average, and when it is 1 degree up, it is detected as fever. At 1 degree, it's detected as fever. There is a nature. Right here, this is another one. It's given in. So high fever is when it reaches 39. Normally it is in 35, 30, 35, 36, 37, around that, but lower than 37. Okay, let's discuss the remaining stuff next day. And good night. See you all next week.
Good night, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.